Simon. Well, moving on, and an alcoholic energy drink dubbed Blackout in a Can has health experts around the world worried. 4 Loco, which contains the equivalent of at least 3 beers, a can of Red Bull and a shot of espresso, has been responsible for up to 23 hospital admissions over a 7-week period in the US, and that's just from one college campus.
Experts are concerned the potent combination of alcohol and caffeine can have deadly consequences, encourage excessive drinking, particularly among teens, and resulting in alcohol poisoning and related accidents. So just how concerned should we be about this? Let's go to the experts. Morning Show medical contributor Dr. Ginny Mansberg joins us. Good morning. And adolescent psychologist Sally-Anne McCormack is in Melbourne. Good morning to you both. Ginny, first up, what makes this drink, from a medical perspective, so very dangerous?
Maybe the name, Blackout in a Can. Right. I think anybody who's going for that clearly wants something slightly more than a slight tipple. That's the first problem. But what we know is we have enough studies now that show that together these things are greater than the sum of their parts. In other words, if you had 10 beers or 10 drinks, standard drinks in this sort of format, you're far more likely to have alcohol-related harm when you add in an energy drink. Why? We're not too sure, but the theory is that the uppers in the energy drinks mask the symptoms of the alcohol, so it hits you much faster and you have far more problems.
OK, so these incidents we're talking about have been in the US. Is there anything similar on the market here? What was it? Equivalent of 3 beers, a can of Red Bull and a shot of espresso. So what's on the market
Just to put
here?
that into some sort of perspective, there's 80 milligrams of caffeine in a standard energy drink, so one of those little Red Bulls or a V. That's exactly the same as a shot of espresso, so I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't know whether that was a marketing ploy, because it's just like 2 Red Bulls, really.
OK.
But is there anything here? I went to my #1 research source, my 2 teenage sons, and they didn't know anything about this at all. They say most people they know mix the Red Bull and the vodka at the party. They swear it wasn't them. But I did go to a couple of internet sites, you know, home delivery of spirits, and yes, there are a couple of things not too dissimilar, unfortunately.
All right.
I'm sure it's a matter of time before that catches on.
OK. Sally-Anne, aimed straight at the teens, how concerned are you by these sorts of drinks?
Well, these sorts of drinks are actually seen to be quite cheap, value for money, because it's already mixed in, and one tin would actually be the equivalent of buying a few different bottles or shots of things. The other thing is that these adolescents are drinking these and they don't really know what it's actually doing to their bodies. It's a real concern. And some of my clients, and it's a worrying trend, is that they're actually having up to 2 or 3 of these, the caffeine drinks, the energy drinks, before lunchtime.
Wow, you're the teen psychologist, Sally-Anne. What's the appeal? Why do the young people want to buy these drinks?
Well, I think one of the reasons really is the sleep cycle, the adolescent sleep cycle. Certainly with the caffeine, in the mornings when they wake up, they're really lethargic. I mean, that's just the way that they are. And these drinks give them an extra shot, an extra hit, and stop the lethargy. But there's other ways of dealing with that.
Yeah, hey, Sally-Anne made a good point there, Ginny, that this is the, you know, some of these kids having it 2 or 3 times a day, and you walk around the streets and it used to be they're drinking Coke or Solo, something like that, but kids are carrying these around with them, having them all day. Should we be worried about the regular energy drinks if we take the grog out of the equation?
We haven't established a safe dose of caffeine for kids. Having said all of which, one of these is 80 milligrams. That's the same as a shot of coffee. In the area that I live, they're not all walking around with Red Bulls. They're all walking around with their polystyrene cups of coffee. That is the thing to do now when you're a high school student. I don't think 1 is going to be a problem. I think 3 before lunch, we've got to ask ourselves, as Sally-Anne said, why do they need this much caffeine to pick them up in the morning? You know, could we be doing something else to give them a bit more sleep? And we don't really know what the long-term effects are on the body. We're in the middle of establishing a safe dose of caffeine for kids at the moment.
All righty, Ginny, thank you. And Sally-Anne, thank you too in Melbourne.
Thank you.